so many moments that I remember living through, but happened again, and I either laughed out loud again, or cried again, or had
Hold
another
on.
moment again.
I am the worst person. Were we not live this entire time?
It doesn't look like
Does
it.
it look like it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we weren't. We weren't.
That's
You're now.
so funny.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say is that like I couldn't see anything. So I was
I
like,
know, me too. I just didn't want to be
Cool.
like a bitch about it, Sandeep.
I'm so sorry, you guys. My first time doing this to YouTube. I
So we
fucking
weren't
blew
live?
it. We weren't live.
32
So-
minutes
for the
left.
first 10 minutes they didn't hear anything.
No,
Okay.
no, they are nothing.
Yay, but they can see us
Oh
now.
my god. Oh my
I
god.
We were talking to ourselves for 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it
now
was
I can
great.
see Sandeep.
It was great.
Likewise.
This is the last time I'll ever technical direct and be in a show ever again.
Oh,
But
it's
I think
hard.
most of our followers know how terrible I am at doing this, so there's no surprise to them. Sorry, guys.
Thank you to everyone saying. Thank you for everyone for watching this.
Thanks for
and
sticking
supporting
around
this and making this
for
happen.
10 minutes.
So much.
Okay, repeat everything from the start.
Yeah, cool.
Rika,
Oh, yeah,
beginning with you.
No,
Yes.
no, we're not doing that.
Redo all the beats.
Housekeeping. Yeah. Go, Sandeep.
Yeah,
Okay,
housekeeping.
housekeeping. Great. Hi. Well, welcome everybody. So sorry that I started so late, but here we are and we're here, and that's what matters. Thanks for watching the show along with us. Thanks for showing up. It means the world to us. This show is such a labor of love. As I hope that you saw come off the screen. So for you guys to show up like this means the world to us. And I know we have a bunch of backers in here. You guys made this show possible, truly. We could not have done it without you putting forth your hard-earned cash to help us pull this all together. So thank you so much. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here at the top, and then we'll get to the cast, and everybody can celebrate our big victory here today. And of course, how this is going to work, we're going to do a now 50-minute Q&A, and you guys can shoot out all your cues in chat, and we will all scour chat. And there's no moderator. We're just going to kind of all play it together. So feel free to throw each other questions and stuff like that. But how you guys at home could support us doing more of what we love, doing the show, as many of you already have, you can log on to patreon.com/DesiQuest, and that's where we're going to do an after show podcast called The Tea Kettle, with me and Omar hosting, and we're bringing in the cast in like a rotating way with folks behind the camera as well, and talking about all the ins and outs of each episode, sort of reliving the episode from our favorite beat to our favorite beat, and so that you can do there. There's new merch.
I also have a Patreon. I don't have a podcast, though. It's just foot pictures. Do with
Okay,
that what you want.
I'm listening.
That'd be a pretty good podcast.
just
I'm just
usurp
saying.
all the
think
viewers
you
to
do.
your
Why not
foot
the
cam
podcast?
podcast.
I think your feet need a podcast.
Rick.
Like a podiatry cast.
I just make
Get it?
I make rotis with my feet. And that's what it is.
Oh,
Wow.
and that's the podcast.
I think that would
I don't
dwarf our
like that,
numbers, honestly.
I think we might.
I think you
have
would
to-
crush us with your footcast.
Jasmine's special guest this week, Ira Glass. I didn't expect
No,
that.
no, Ira Glass's feet.
No, Jasmine, and you're making roti.
Go support the kettle.
Okay.
Gone too far.
Footcast aside, Jasmine's OnlyFans footcast aside. We also have.
Patreon. I'm classy.
We also have some new merch thanks to Voodoo Val, our amazing graphic designer. So a new T-shirt has just dropped on our store. You can go to DesiQuest.com/merch. For that, I'll show it off real quick right here. Oh yeah, there's a hoodie. It's like we got our official logo on there. And then let's see, where's the other thing? Boop, and a T-shirt. It's unisex. It's super soft. So you can enjoy that. And if there's something else that you would rather have, if there's other merch ideas that you want, I saw a lot of folks screaming for a Butcha plushie. Let us know. let us know. We'll make some damn merch.
Those are cute hoodies.
The hoodies and the t-shirts, so cute.
I'm excited for this hoodie.
Like it.
I'm a big
Like
zip up hoodie guy, which maybe makes me a dad, but
I like the zip up hoodies.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's funny. I go back and forth because I think
Stop laughing at me, Omar.
Omar.
You're right. Like, I just love that it was honest. Like, you're like, I'm not.
well, what are
And
you?
I'm tired of
Jasmine?
people saying
Are you
I
just
am.
A regular hoodie person?
Yeah, and see,
That's
there's,
just a hoodie.
there's no zip.
No zip. Well, guess what? We got a Mandala no zip hoodie. Just
Just
for
for
you.
you,
everyone.
Jasmine.
Okay.
Guys, we have a bunch of questions coming in.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to them. I promise you. I just want to shout out that you guys, everybody in chat, you guys are gonna have a discount code. It's ANatty20, A-Natty-20. That is your discount code for 20% off for hanging out with us. So enjoy. I'll drop it into chat as well. And then also another way you can support is just checking out our sponsor. This episode, as you guys saw, was sponsored by Candela Obscura from our friends over at Darrington Press, which is Critical Role's publishing company. And so super huge thank you to them. Check them out, DesiQuest.com/Candela. Links you right over to them.
This new book here, I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait a second.
My copy is in my basement.
Okay,
and
she's
I
gonna
just
go
wanted
get
to
that.
mention
Do
that I
you?
have a basement.
Should we
My
talk about
dog
PAX Unplugged while she goes and does it? Oh, here it is.
And stuff. There's really cool stuff. There's like arts and stuff. It's really cool. It's really cool.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book.
Creepy.
If you're into horror, gothic horror, then it's the best. All right, and then we're gonna be at PAX Unplugged playing our first live game together. Our first live play. Very excited about that. That's December 3rd in Philadelphia. And then Jasmine, do you want to do that tease that you did last time?
Yeah, we might not be playing D&D.
What?
Actually, we won't be playing D&D, but I won't say what we are playing. I can just say it won't be D&D.
We're definitively
God.
not gonna D&D.
Yeah. There's gonna
What
be our game is on Sunday in the actual play theater. I'm kind of gonna live in the actual play theater. You'll be able to see me 3 times, but you'll only get to see me GM once, and that's important. And that's on Sunday, and that's with DesiQuest, and that's this show.
Hell yeah.
That's us.
That is us. All right, that's my spiel. I'm done with the spiel part. We can just go to the Q&A part. Did Anjali,
yeah.
did any of the cues stick out to you? Or should we?
You're muted, Anjali.
Easy.
Anjali's muted.
Well, that's because I type so loud. Oh,
Oh boy.
Guys.
Oh geez.
Oh no.
oh, jeez, guys. I'm going through the change, but no, that's the wrong change. Rekha, what made you choose an auntie character?
Oh, this is easy. So I don't do well with like super fantastical characters. I think some people do that amazingly. I do not. I could never think of a Bollywood actress character, a character who's like from a pseudo Germany, but like a man with a robot red panda. I literally just simply must always draw on my real life. And among the characters and people in my real life that I know the best are aunties. I think I have lived and breathed aunties my whole life, as I'm sure we all have. I've never played one in anything before, and it felt like I would have to not really think too hard to come up with a pretty solid playable character. So that was why I chose an auntie. It also felt very ripe for the one type of D&D character I know how to play, which is a barbarian, to be an auntie as well. That felt accurate to me.
It felt like it was a lived in experience.
Thank you.
That
I
was-
have thought a lot about why aunties behave the way they do.
Mhm.
So I hope that came across to people.
Well researched. Just to answer a couple logisticy PAX things. Yeah, all you need is a badge to PAX to come see us, and we are playing on Sunday. That much I know. Time is still kind of a little bit up in the air, or is it or-
No, I believe oh God.
Mhm.
I think it's 3 to 5.
PM.
we think it's 3 to 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'm not. Our
That's
spot is
solid.
solid. I just don't know what it is. And I was informed that this is the greatest time slot to have on Sunday because if people are up late Saturday, it's the perfect time that you're meandering in with your Starbucks or your coffee of choice. On
It's
Sunday.
hangover time.
You can nurse your hangover and hang out with us
With
in
us.
this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Love that.
I'm just saying. I mean, she's just saying.
It's gonna be a nice, calm game. Very quiet,
Mm,
very
mm.
collected.
No shenanigans.
No
Yeah.
shenanigans. No wiseacre.
Oh,
No.
that's important.
What is
We're
the
getting a
team
question
name for
from.
the-
Oh,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Someone just asked what the team name for the group is.
Oh.
Reika's Rangers was floated out there by Reika.
Ricky's Rangers in a team with no Rangers. Ricka's-
Hey, think about it.
No, it's perfect. Everyone would be like, oh, do they all play Rangers? And
Yeah,
like,
think about it.
none of us.
Nobody.
I don't know.
So good.
Something alliterative. though.
Do we have a team name? What's our team name?
Omar's overalls.
Omar's
Yeah.
overalls.
No overalls to be seen in this group,
No.
but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not yet. Episode
Okay.
2.
speaking of Omar, I see
What'd I
a
do?
question for Omar in the chat.
Uh-huh.
Are we popcorning who's asking
Yeah.
these questions?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, great. Omar, did
Mm.
you know how Butcha was going to be received by the audience, i.e., with pure adoration and love? Or was Butcha's characterization a lot of Jasmine's brainchild?
Oh.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. I knew how I would feel about Butcha because I love red pandas, and and Butcha's based off of my cat, who is
Oh.
my best friend, named Oliver Queen. But we didn't discuss like the voice or anything. That was like my reaction on camera for Jasmine bringing life to Butcha was like that was it. Like you heard it when I heard it. And so yeah, I didn't have like a clear idea. He's straight up eating while I'm answering this question. But yeah, so I don't know, I came into it, I want to say, with like I knew how I felt and how Mirka felt about this like creation and like what possibilities of story there would be down the road. But the emotional, like actual chemistry right there at the table, that's all Jasmine Didi. That's all you.
No one
I
can beat
always
Boop.
I always try to give players something to bounce off of because I think it's hard to act to yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, the voice is kind of unhinged. It's from I talked about this backstage and it awoke memories for people. But when I lived in India, a show would play on television. We mostly got really, really old American TV and like some anime, and then of course Indian TV. So the show was Small Wonder, and it is an
Yes.
American show, but this was already fucking old. And it would air in Hindi, and it was not the greatest dub. But when that little girl would talk, because she's supposed to be a robot, she would be like, "Main usko hug dena chahti hu." And that's how she talked, you know? Usko kuch nahi malum. And she would just like talk like this the entire time. And in my head, I was like, okay, that's Butcha.
That's
I don't know why.
Butcha.
Perfect.
That's
That's
amazing.
Butcha. The
It's like-
Hindi dubbed Small Wonder is Butcha.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love that as the inspiration.
Robot child. It works. Butcha. Small Wonder. Same thing.
Amazing.
Incredible.
here-
Butcha's
here's a
right
qu-
here, by the way.
Here's a question. Oh, you have a Butcha?
Hey,
Little
Oh,
stuffed
you have a little panda back there.
it's from
Stop
Australia.
it, Omar. It's
Oh
too
my.
cute.
Yeah, I just want to say I didn't know how cute he was until I saw the drawings.
The drawing
and
that Val did is unbelievable.
So good.
I would
Oh,
not have let
I
I
Pooch
love
take a
that you
swipe.
keep his tag
I
on.
would- exactly. I would have treated him much nicer. had I
You-
seen
Yeah.
him down.
Did you collect TY Beanie Babies?
Yes, you weren't talking to me, but
No,
yes,
Omar still has the tag on.
yes, to sell it for money.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
TY.
never.
That's TY coded.
You're talking like Punjab. You sell it
To sell
for
for
money.
money.
Hey,
No, I
friends,
could never.
Being a robot next.
I could never sell this Cuddlekins.
Hey,
Cuddlekins.
BJ
Yeah.
Altman is asking, what resources would you recommend to viewers to give them a primer for the setting? If they are not
Ooh.
as-
So the Explorer's
familiar.
Guide is coming, which is funny because it's referenced in the show, which is the character that asks Ash, "Didn't you get the orientation packet?"
Oh shit! Okay.
That's really cool.
Oh, I did not pick up on that. Okay.
There is like that was me 9 months ago planting the seed.
Oh
However,
shit! That's cool.
these things take time to make, and so Val, who's doing all of the amazing art for our show that you're seeing on camera, is also working with me on this guide. So we're gonna try to get it out by the end of the year. We're working very hard on it, but we also did structure the show so that you don't really like. We kind of have pop-ups, and we kind of are welcoming you into the world. It was a very conscious decision to have at least one character not be from Vihar, which is Sandeep's character, so that that's kind of like the audience lens, is that as you see Ash kind of figuring things out and asking questions, our hope is that like you as the audience will kind of learn things as you go too. So yeah, you don't need to have the primer. You can just jump right in, and we'll try to explain the desi stuff to you as we go along. But if you want to start to incorporate things in your home game, or you want a little bit more in depth stuff, it'll be in the orientation, the Explorer's Guide to Vihar.
Ooh,
Yay.
exciting. How is Merca so rich? Vaden is asking.
Oh, we discussed this.
Due to spending gold
Why?
like it's nothing.
You measure the wealth of a man by his friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about his cash? Where did that come
Yeah, but what about the gold?
The hell
Are
are
the
you
gold
talking
his
about, Omar?
friends?
Your friends can't buy you a plane ticket. Come on. Where'd it come from?
Friends can't buy you a crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, cannon
Gold.
wagon. Come on.
It's like I based so much of this off of my dad. This is Merca's a love letter to my father, who is one of the most charming and odd men I've ever had the pleasure of
And
knowing.
rich, apparently.
The thing is, no.
Not that
but
part.
every so often, I think we talked about this at Gen Con, but like he just like will every so often be like, "Oh yeah, the Wii. I invented the Wiimote." And we're like, "What?" And then he'll have like a Ziploc bag from like 17 years ago of like a prototype for the Wiimote. And so he's just every so often has these like weird little things. Like he also was like like a chief engineer on like the first iteration of the GoPro or something. And so like just every so often he's like, "Oh yeah, I made that. I invented that." Or like, "I know that guy." And so it's just, I think like the only way I could represent that without us having like an appendix of NPCs to refer to is just be like, I have resources, which is how I feel like with my dad, where it's like, "Oh yeah. No, I'm good friends with the guy who invented IMAX or whatever." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What is this?" And I just wanted to create that mild anxiety and frustration for everyone that I experience on a daily basis with
That's
my father.
very funny.
Didn't you also mention like Bruce Wayne at one point, or like some rich person as like a inspiration for that character? I can't remember.
It was
Or,
more
like,
Tony
just-
Stark.
Tony Stark. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because also Tony Stark is just like, this is not a problem for me. I
Yeah.
I live in a fantasy world because I'm rich. I could just buy this building. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I remember we
Totally.
talked about it because there was like, and I kind of use VTM rules a little bit.
Mhm.
'Cause I love Vampire the Masquerade. But I remember we talked about it because it's like the character creation rules as written. It's like, oh, you start with 10 gold, or you get gold according to your background and stuff like that. And when we were talking about it, I was like, I don't think you'll abuse it if you have an infinite amount of money. But I think I was also saying, I feel like most of your money would be tied up in assets. and because it's like,
Yes.
yeah, Mirka's like an inventor, and so he's the type of person to get money quickly, but I think like also lose it quickly or be like,
100%.
I gave them 4,000 gold to like mechanize the the process, you know.
I
And
also
you're
think that half the promises of payment will inevitably come as favors. Like I think that it's just like how much? Like a 500. Okay, great. I don't have that, but what I can do is and that's like,
Yeah.
Uh,
and so I thought of it as resource dots from BTM. Of like, oh,
yes.
if it's within reason, you can just have it, and we'll hand wave away the gold. You know, yeah.
There's a question here I want to ask throw out to everybody, but mostly in this episode to Anjali and Jasmine. What's in your chai in the tea kettle?
So we had this lovely lady named Kiri on set, and she made us chai, and it was with almond milk, so I could drink it too. So it's actually chai. It's real chai, just
Yeah,
not
it's
with
like legit, right?
It was
And they would make
so
it
good.
fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, I guess the bit of BTS that's hilarious is anytime we would go to the tea kettle, they'd be like, hold and make a fresh pot. And this is something so small, but it became something where like people were like, I kind of just want to go to the tea kettle and have a cup of tea. I'm like, that's not how it works, guys. That's literally not how it works. 'Cause
Okay.
Just keep using the boon card to just get more tea for.
I just started filling my coffee travel mug with it.
Yeah, because it was like
Because I was like, that stuff was
you
was crack. Like that was some
it was
good
really
stuff.
good. It was really good.
Shout out to the Kiri. Kiri
We
chai.
get up,
Yitty
You're
chai.
we're using the boon card. Then you go there and it's like, okay, hold for 5 minutes. Here's your chai. That's why even if you look, it's like steaming when it comes in on the tray.
So incredible.
Yeah. We have a really good
But that-
crew.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them are in the chat. Our crew is so fucking good. We're
Yeah.
so lucky.
If you're in
So
the chat, can you do the chat equivalent of standing up? Because my God,
Please.
you guys
Please.
deserve
What
a
emoji is
huge
that? I don't know what
round
that
of
is.
applause. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
There you
There's
go.
probably an emote or emoji for that or something. Especially,
Also,
can we just shout out like especially the post crew, because like this last week
Yes.
the turnaround was absolutely bananas. It was literally to the last minute, you guys. Like last minute of getting this thing
Like, minute.
uploaded.
I think it was 10 minutes before, or 10 or 20 minutes before we were running it. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And then
gosh.
we just finished uploading.
And
Matt,
Sean. Yeah. Sorry, go please.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
And Matt,
you.
Sean, Val, Ash, Regan. I'm gonna
Justin.
forget people now, but like you, it was Kiri, Kaylin. So many people just showing up,
God.
driving hard drives across town, and then they would fail, and then they would drive across town again, and like
The hard drives, just to be clear.
yeah, the hard
Yeah,
drives,
not the people.
not the people, the hard drives.
These dumb
Thank you.
idiots who drive across town and just
Just
completely
failed.
fail.
Just failed driving. I don't understand
It's
how
a
they did it.
GTA situation.
Yeah.
I'm on the beach.
They would get
Yeah.
5 stars, be hunted from the cops.
Mission failed.
Oh, William, our sound mixer, like literally 2 days in straight
Yes.
mixing sound. It's just crazy, Herculean task. So
It's
thank you so much. to all of
Gorgeous.
you
The
guys.
show's gorgeous. I can say this as talent because I'm hands off on that stuff. Gorgeous. Absolutely unbelievably gorgeous. How did y'all make such a good show? What
Isn't it so
what
big,
is
like-
this?
Shout outs to Joey Rasul, our director
Yes.
of photography. This is the best melanated skin has ever looked on a tabletop RPG because I think we've all done shows where we look crazy. We love our
I look crazy right now. I look white right now. Like, what the hell you mean shows? I'm like, what is
Can we pause for a quick white balance for Reika's camera?
Yeah,
Really quick?
please. Dear God, I look sick.
Can you throw some gels up?
all done shit where we look fucking crazy and Joey.
Yes, we wanted the crew we wanted all the crew in that opening sequence. So I think we got everyone that was on set in that opening sequence. Someone just
Yes.
noted that you really loved how
Yes.
we chose to give the crew.
That
spot,
was such a
so-
weird. That was such a. Sometimes, okay, how do I say this? Sometimes having a
mhm.
smaller budget forces you to actually make something better. And I usually look at this in the context of video games, you know, because that's what I'm writing for these days is video games. It's like you look at like a game like BioShock, the first one, where technology didn't really exist to render these massive levels. So they made like this like you're in like a submarine essentially, right? These narrow tubes that are claustrophobic, and it makes the medium better. So when we were making this show, we knew like we had half the budget of what shows of our scale typically have, right? So an
third.
animated
Yeah.
intro was like out. Like we knew that like wasn't gonna happen. So then it came to like, okay, how do we make an intro that's impactful, that's great, that feels good, that brings you into our show, that does everything that it needs to do? And I remember watching. It always goes back to Indian daytime television because a lot of people think our inspiration is Bollywood. I would say more it's like actually like Indian soaps, which me and Anjali are big fans of. And Rika too.
I watch peripherally because
Animal soaps,
they're
yeah.
on 24/7. My grandmother watches
Yeah.
5 different networks, like sports games or whatever,
Yeah.
of these soaps.
Tamil soaps and Hindi soaps, right? And so there's this there was this show called Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, which is like because every mother-in-law was a daughter-in-law once, which is a crazy fucking name.
Oh, that's the title translation.
That's so beautiful. Before she became
That's great.
this relation to a man, she used to be this relation to a man.
Oh,
or
wow.
whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi.
Streaming now on patriarchy.com.
So I was like looking at all of these like sort of, you know, intros, all of these videos,
Mhm.
and I was trying to think like how can we incorporate this and modernize it for like our show? And in it, you know, the character is like welcoming you in to her house. And as she runs around the house, it's like everyone getting ready for a special event. And she introduces you to all the cast as their names show up. And they're all doing something that kind of tells you a little bit something about their character. And she acknowledges the camera at like every single turn. And I showed this to like Shabak, and I was like, could we fucking do this? Like, you know, like how much would this cost? Like, can we make this? And Ash and Regan and Shabak were like, that wouldn't cost that much money. Like we could maybe do that. And from there, the idea grew of like, okay, well, could we hide people in the background, or like can we show off different parts of Fonco? Can we show our makeup artists? Can we show like all the different rooms that like the show is happening in, and then show the people behind the scenes making it happen? And then it was and so like that entire thing, that was actually my favorite thing to shoot, was walking through the backstage and talking to everybody, talking to our lore consultant, talking to like, you know, our sound engineer, talking to everybody. And I would change up, I'm sure y'all remember this, I would change up what I said every single time I walked through because we're supposed to pretend to be talking. And I think on our final cut, my bit was, I was like, hey, Regan, Ash said I could bring a monkey to set. So we have a monkey handler coming in. And so like, I remember that being our final take of that, because getting the timing on that walk right was probably the hardest part of it. But then like when I saw the final cut together version, I was like, no, this is everything I wanted it to be. Because it's like, I feel it's like a personal mission of mine. I don't think people understand how many people it takes to make a Candela Obscura, to make a Dimension 20 season, to make anything. It takes so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to show like, and Shabak said a wonderful thing that stuck with me. He said, this is our way of letting people know that this is where every dollar you pledged went. Like, look at all of these faces, look at all of these people, and look at this entire team. And that's where every dollar went. And then like that, it was his idea to do the sweeping, beautiful camera transition.
That was really cool.
Where you go from like backstage to like in world. Like he choreographed all of that. Like having, you know, like you see the camera wipe and you see Joey. That was like so cool. And And
Like the
and
holy
so
powder into the lens, and we were all wiping
the holy
it.
powder
Yeah,
into the
super
lens.
cool.
Yeah, it was
We
just
ruined like 5 cameras with that shot.
Yeah, it's true.
It sucks, but we had to.
that too. So it's just I don't know. I think that's like actually my favorite part of the show. It's so weird. It's our intro because it kind of shows you like what our show is like. It's like what our vibe is. It tells you so much about like who we are, who our team is, how we made this, why we made this. And every time I see it, I've watched it like 300 times and I've never gotten tired of seeing it. And I don't like watching my own stuff. Everybody here knows that I hate watching my own stuff. I could watch that intro every day and I wouldn't get tired of it.
Also,
Yes.
shout out to our composers and our musicians.
Yes.
Yes.
Alok and John, thank you for
Yeah, such an incredible team that ended up working on this, and I love the transition between like our sort of retro 60s-ish
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden with the sweeping camera move we come into this adventure theme, and all of a sudden it feels like it felt when we walked onto set.
Yes, John.
All of a sudden you'd walk in the room and
Yeah. John Piscatello and Alok Mehta joined forces, and the two of them, like, I don't think that they'll say this, so I'll say this for
Yeah.
them. They got all of their live musician friends to. I mean, this does not happen. Jasmine mentioned this earlier. This does not happen for shows of our scale, but they just really wanted this to be primo, so they put everything into the original soundtrack. I mean, there's an original soundtrack with live, tabla and bansuri flute and it's incredible. So they really threw everything in for the show, far beyond the resources that we were able to provide for them. So yeah, I feel like this
They're
thing is dripping
fantastic
with love
people.
from our crew. It's incredible.
They're fantastic people, and I finally got to meet both of them like in person at our launch. And I told Alok I was learning Dolki, and he was like, "From what?" And I was like, "From YouTube." And he was like, "Do you want to teach her?" I was like, "Will you teach me on Zoom?" And he was like, "I'd be happy to." So maybe if we do this again, I will be our Dolki player. You never know. Maybe I will be our
Maybe.
professional.
Oh my god.
Because you do so little on the show. You need to do more.
My cousin's getting married next year. Do you want to go to the wedding? and play Dolki?
Absolutely.
We had it.
outside of a Hilton.
Here's Sangeet.
We had this question earlier, and Jasmine kind of kicked it off with, "What was your favorite moment of episode 1?" And we just go around and is there a particular moment that stuck out? To you?
Omar looks excited. Do it, Omar.
Okay, I'll say it. I'm a fan, man, and I'm not gonna. I'm tired of hiding it. I'm tired of hiding in the shadows, and maybe I'll get canceled for this, but who cares? I'm such a fan of Anjali's performance. Just it's acting. Is there any other way to put it? Do you know what I
Acting.
mean? Like it's like master class acting that's happening, and I just feel like so fortunate to be around it and to get to witness it. Because when you feel like when the tone is shifting, the air changes temperature. Like everything like is happening and happening. And as like someone who does like writing stuff and all is just like, let me tell you what you should be experiencing right now. Whereas like when Anjali start like in just like 1 or 2 sentences, like you're in that moment, you see everything that she's seeing. It is just immaculate and incredible. That's my favorite. I know this wasn't part of the question, but my least favorite, how loud we were when you were in the tea kettle.
That was also my least favorite. I literally thought, I was like, production's being insane. I'm such a nerd for being quiet, but I'm like, weird. I can barely hear Omar. But it's unbelievable how loud we are.
I'm just so glad that they kept it in when I yelled at you.
I think they had to. We had to justify
We had to.
the sound bleed. Yeah. Well, there was a minute where we thought we were gonna like
ahead.
also keep the stuff on the outside, like of what we were talking about, and like maybe use it as like stuff to cut back and forth.
Omar's
Yeah,
DMing.
No, don't do that. Don't do any of that.
Well,
Dude, Omar, you were pretty hilarious though.
you were making us on. All of you do this thing that I don't know how to do in D&D. So someone you can teach me. You all do a thing where you role play, you act, and you strategize. Don't know how to do all of those things at the same time. So like Omar, you like maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't. You making the like cannon wagon thing, like I don't know how you think to do that. I can only look half an inch in front of my face. I have no idea how you guys think ahead. And like Anjali, you like remembering details about the map to like tell Ash. I'm like, literally, how are you guys keeping all this stuff in your head? I have no idea. And like Sandeep, you keeping the like your train of thought of like going to the mountain. I don't know how any of you do that. So those are all my favorite moments where you guys are being very smart.
That's funny because that's gonna lead right into my favorite moment, which is Reka, were there boys there? I mean, I just think that like that was such the
Broke me.
that is to me
All
like
of your Andy moments were so present.
yes, all of them. But
So
I'll just say,
in-
I just want to say that one in particular. Why it's like there was so much like gravitas going on in that moment, and you're kind of like, where's this gonna go? My two like arguably favorite characters are like going at each other in this way, and then it just breaks the tension. I'm
So
just like,
good.
God damn, that's masterstroke. So
Oh,
That's very, very nice of you. That's
I
very
fucking
nice.
broke, dude. Like,
Yeah, I broke, and I was in the scene with you. Like,
yeah, like 2 minutes of me just laughing because I thought like it was so realistic. Like, what are the boys up there? It's like, oh my.
oh my God,
It's
it's like the
even-
perfect thing to say.
I'm so happy y'all finally got to see what happened in there because it makes my laughter make
Yes.
much more sense because it was like
Yes, because it's so
fucking
serious.
serious.
Yes.
And then like, you know, she's talking to this like fucking planar entity and fucking Laddu Auntie's like, what are the boys up there? And I just almost pissed myself.
Was God a boy? Like
Literally, I almost like pissed myself laughing. The idea that it's like she was whisked out of time and space, and Laddu Auntie's like, okay, but was is it a man? Is he really alone with him?
Anjali, do you have a favorite moment that hasn't been already discussed?
so many. It's really hard to pick one. I am constantly in awe. It's not a moment. It's a thing, and we're going to see it throughout the whole series. I am constantly in awe of Jasmine's ability to create like a whole flower out of a seed that we just maybe hand her, and for her to describe an entire like the theater of the mind that you create is so vivid. You know, just the setting, just the whole opening of explaining where we were and the smells and the sights and the way it's so visceral the way you describe things. And yeah, I mean I say this to you a lot behind the scenes, but it's really fun to get to say it in public. I'm just constantly in awe of how you keep making your game, no pun intended, but your game keeps getting better and better and better and better in the moments that you create. And I can't wait. I know this hasn't happened yet, but I can't wait for everyone to see that this is just episode 1. We haven't even had any encounters yet.
Yeah.
On
I
that
just
note,
want to.
there was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add one thing to Jasmine's praise, which is I noticed in this pass, watching this now for like the fourth, fifth time, your editing, like your in scene and like when to cut away from the scene is like, I mean, it's like the timing, the comedic timing, the dramatic timing is like unparalleled. I mean, I'm like, holy fuck, how do you think like that?
You also like
is
you know when to
amazing.
cut a joke. You also know how to make a joke last so long and like milk that moment.
Oh my
Like-
god, the like butcha stuff.
Butcha,
is
all
so
of butcha.
funny.
When you're
Butcha,
wa-
like all of butcha, I
Uncle,
think.
uncle,
All of the
uncle.
butcha
Watch it
stuff is my
through.
favorite.
There's a moment
Correct,
of pure
correct.
fear in my eyes when we get to like the 5th beat of it, and I'm just like, I don't know how long this Meisner exercise is gonna go for. Like, I'm not backing down. This is up to Jasmine, but I'm just like, we're gonna be here for like 20 minutes. Like,
You better come up with something because she committed.
That's
People are
so
saying in the
funny.
chat that they love how much we love each other. I think this is one of the reasons I love TTRPGs so much, is because part of the joy of doing them is getting to watch the virtuosity of the storytellers around you
Mhm.
and getting to be in awe of how someone picks something up and takes it down, or how something just they pull something completely out of thin air that you never would have thought of, and getting to both be a part of telling the story and receiving the story and watching it like you guys are. It's interactive between us, and it's interactive thinking of the audience. And so I just it's yeah. I mean, it's an unmitigated delight to get to play with people who are so talented.
To piggyback on that,
Different ways. Each and every person at this table has this unique set of traits that make them just delicious to watch.
To jump on that, like I felt like at the table there were so many, and pardon if this is the wrong word, like mechanics I had just not seen before, like the hourglass, the uses the tea kettle, obviously, and like more to come,
Like
you
the
know,
card,
in future
yeah.
episodes that I thought was really surprising, and like, to use Andre's word, like kind of delicious as a player to be like, ooh, I got to try this new thing I haven't done before in this space, in addition to trying a world I've never done before, which is like a all South Asian world. And then just watching it, I got that feeling again because I hadn't seen this episode. And I know I've said this a couple times in the chat, but like my family is Tamilian, so I don't know a lot of Hindi or Gujarati or Punjabi words. And so I was reading those little descriptors at the bottom. I'm like, oh, that's what that word means. You know, as someone who is the parent or the child of Indian immigrants, like even I didn't know what those things were. So if there's people in the audience that didn't know what those words were, like, neither did I. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm learning
I'm
even
with you.
as I'm watching this episode what certain things are. Like I did not know the word bacha. I did not know chup. I like, so it was really cool to see.
You're very lucky that no one ever told you chup karo.
Well, they've
Oh,
said
really? Chup is
"Sattam
not.
porare." Sattam porare means
Oh.
stop making noise.
Mhm.
Stop making sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's-
Tamilian people, my
yeah, how are the
grandmother
Tamilian
has,
like Talking Heads fans? Like, what do they
Yeah,
say?
I'm sure there must be a
What-
lot of
what do they say? What?
Stop making sense. How do you say that in Tamil?
I would learn, if I don't know how to say sense. Stop is like porum or like apoda. And any Tamilian, please come at me in the chat. Lord knows my parents do.
They're in
The
chat
things
right
in Tamil
now.
I know are all
shaking their
stuff my
heads.
grandmother says about my hair and
Mm.
things I've repeated back to her. I repeated one of them back to her once, not to her, but I was like, oh, Shaniana. And she's like, oh, yo, don't say that. And I was like, you call me that. What do you mean I'm not allowed to say that? What is it? And then my grandfather's like, it means like derelict. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
There are some words that I could not have learned anywhere but from my mother.
Yeah.
She
Right.
insists she never said to me.
Oh, that's so good.
What inspired the philosophy in the tea room this episode? It felt like Ghost in the Shell, which is like any great movie makes me want to watch it over and over. What was there something? That's particularly inspired
I'm a
you?
huge Ghost in the Shell fan. So now that you've brought up the parallel, I can see it, and I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. It's weird. So like I wanted like is it the inspiration behind the tea kettle? Is that
I guess so, or I guess maybe the philosophical discussions you were having in there.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
both went
yeah.
there.
You
in
guys,
this
you guys
episode.
went to a
Like
That
you
was
talk
just
about
us,
good
I
and
think.
evil.
It was
right
just us
and
Yeah.
balance
putting
and
each other-
judgment. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to ride that line of like, you know, the DM is a player, but the DM is also this like entity at the table that kind of knows everything and is trying to guide the players, but also like respond to what the players are doing, right? And I wanted to create a space where you could do that and feel like you could do it like sort of above table, but in character, because I think that's valuable space right there of being able to have a moment to talk through of like, this is where I'm at in character. Because that's valuable for me as a DM. It allows me to understand like what is clicking, like what, you know, where do you want to go on this journey? And, you know, how do I prepare you for that? Or, you know, put things in front of you. Because when you only have 8 episodes, you don't want to hold these things back for episode 3 or 4 or 5. You want to kind of get into it from the beginning. And I think when I really committed to the idea is actually like my brother is one of our consultants, and he was watching a live feed of the show in India at like 3 a.m. his time. And when he started, he went to film school in India. So I was like kind of weirded out even asking him because this felt like it's so hard to like explain D&D to people who don't play it. And he did a bunch of research and was very much like, you're my baby sister, so I'll do this, you know? Didn't seem into it. I'm not going to name the shows he watched, but he was like, okay, I don't really get it. And after the first episode, he said, he was like, this show, I'm going to tear up. He said, this show makes me wish I was at the table.
Oh.
And
Wow.
he's like, I want to be back in LA and I want to be there with you.
Oh.
And this is somebody who's never played a game before. And that's when I knew that like we had something like special. And it was the tea kettle, like in particular too, because he was like, I was already on board, and he's like, but then like, he's like, I feel like Anjali like reached through the camera and like plucked my heartstrings. Like she made me feel something. And he was like, she made me like I don't know this Rocky guy, but I want to fucking kill him. And I need to go on this journey with her.
Ricky, my white knight.
And so it was like and there was like, yeah, I had a couple of moments like that, especially in the first episode, because there was like the moment where we all realized like we've met Bunty Uncle.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
And
my
so
God,
many
yes.
of the things that Laddu Auntie said, we were like, oh my, like, again, the transformation is complete. Like so much of the joy of this, I think for all of us, and hopefully for those of you in the audience who do have a little bit of this culture in your background, or all of it in your background, some of the joy of it is in recognition of a shared experience. And one of the things that we really also wanted to accomplish was make sure that that shared experience was inclusive of the people who did not have that experience growing up, or who don't know what it is. It's one of the reasons those pop-up windows explaining things are so vital to us. We don't ever want anyone to feel excluded from an inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to feel like you're laughing at the table with us. And I think that for me too, that sense, even when we were playing, there was very much this sense of like, oh my God, I can't wait to explain this to, oh my God, I can't wait to bring people, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you what this means. Like that excitement to have friends join us on the journey.
Yeah, I appreciated how like chill everyone was, because like I didn't know what like tour was, and it was never like, I feel like sometimes people can be judgy.
You don't know that?
Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I fucking don't. And everyone's like, oh, it's this. I'm like, oh, great. Wow, what a non-issue.
Because also in not just from different region to different region, but from family to family.
Dude.
Yes.
Yes. There are
Totally.
completely different traditions, completely different words being used, completely different.
Somebody
nicknames.
asked in the chat, and it's so funny because like we're all from different parts of the country. And I actually just took a DNA test for the first time like last year, and was bamboozled because I'm Punjabi. So I say Punjabi because it's just a very weird identity, and the border for the partition was drawn through Punjab.
Yep.
So it's like I'm the Punjabi identity supersedes like any nationality because of that. Yeah. But technically I'm, Indian and Pakistani, but I took a DNA test and found out like it's like 98% Pakistani. And I thought it was maybe like not that. And then there's even like there's like, I know. Hi, Omar.
Welcome. He said.
And there was even like Irani and Afghani in there, which my grandpa had gray eyes. So suddenly that makes sense. My grandpa had like beautiful gray eyes. I didn't get them. I got the boring
That's
one.
Afghani as hell.
Okay, brown is hot. Brown is beautiful. Everyone pop off in the chat if you think brown eyes are freaking hot as shit.
I wanted the Afghan eyes, Rick.
Pop off in the chat if brown eyes are hot as hell. Let's go.
Rick all of a sudden becoming like DJ.
Listen, let's go. Let's go off. Let's go off for brown eyes.
Drop a one in chat if you love those brown eyes.
Where did you learn how to talk like this? Who taught you this? Mr. Beast? What is this?
Yes, Mr. Beast. Yeah, you know my guy, Mr. Beast. Yes.
Is this how we find out you guys are like best friends?
Yeah. Hey, there's a Mrs. B.
Oh, please be Mrs. Beast.
Yeah, that's my next up.
Mrs. Beast.
Got an oat milk latte for a Mrs.
B.
So we started a little bit late, so we'll go maybe a little bit little bit longer, like another 5
You have
minutes or so?
5
Is
minutes.
that cool?
That's it. You have 5
5 minutes. Okay, glorious. Maybe we can kind of round out with this, which is there any episode in particular that you're looking forward to without spoiling anything? Is there anything, an episode specifically you're excited about?
8.
The finale?
No, the one before that. 7.
7. Okay. The
7.
Okay, so we're just giving
part 1.
ambiguous numbers.
Yeah, and like maybe like I don't know,
like a hint.
Feeling, yeah, a hint, a taste, a
7
moosh.
is hot.
Sandeep has a real good emotional beat coming up. A real big emotional
I think
beat.
that one's good shit.
Oh yeah, that was really
Are we talking
good.
about 3?
I think-
that was gonna
okay.
be mine. 3 is the one I'm looking forward to.
Now there isn't any way I could know which episode this is, but Omar gets a pretty emotional beat.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Well, when you
Okay.
have Jasmine running your game, you know that like at some point your character is gonna get pushed to the limit.
Yeah.
Push it to the limit. I don't know the other words. That's the only part I know.
That is the one moment since I've met you that you went from being my little sister to an auntie, and now you're back.
Imagine apply that to any other song. Mortal Kombat. Anyway, I don't know.
So good. I'm really bad at
You, Omar.
my like one of my greatest weaknesses is it makes my brain break to try to pick my favorite anything, or to try to like I take that back. I can pick my favorite dog and I can pick my favorite human. And other than that, I can't pick favorites. I'm really bad at it. There's so many cool. There's one episode where there is a plot twist that happens relatively close to what we thought was going to be the end of the episode, and it it changes everything. Like my brain broke. It
Are you talking about with our guest? Because by the way, we have
Yes.
guests that we won't
Yes.
spoil who they are. But
yes, I have not
guests.
spoiled. I didn't want to
But
spoil.
isn't there a guest in the next episode?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I believe there is.
There is. I thought we were allowed to talk about it the week before.
I don't.
We're gonna.
know.
Well, I think
don't
because
know
we did a
if we talked about
season.
food.
We didn't do like a next time on. We did this season on, and we didn't put the
I
guests. But we
wasn't
are going to
paying
spoil the
attention.
guests soon in socials. Yes.
Yeah, so keep
I'm
your
gonna just
eyes out
spoil
because
it.
we got
I'm
some.
gonna just spoil
really-
it to our backers.
All right, spoil it
doing
to
it
our
right now?
backers. You're the showrunner. Run the
Okay,
show.
yeah. I'm gonna spoil it to our backers.
Here you
The
go.
next guest is literally like one of my favorite fucking performers, favorite fucking people. So I had to bring him in. It's Luis Carrazzo.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, backers. You can't tell anybody else.
And
Okay.
look at me, chat. We put eyeliner on him.
Mhm.
Look out! Look out! Talk about a charm person spell, bitches. Luis Carrazzo with eyeliner.
Yeah, we gave him surma.
Kajol.
The
Done.
Angel.
Done. Dead and done.
The reaction that happens because we don't know like what's happening at any point.
Oh, they don't know. Chat. They didn't know.
No.
I hid the guest.
Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't
They
know.
So the
weren't-
reaction
The
that
guests
you
were
see,
not on the call sheet. They were
Nope.
hidden in a different part of the set. Only
Mhm.
I knew who the guests were. The cast did not know who the guests were.
No.
Pretty cool. Backer special spoiler. Shh.
and that you can all like in public message each other on the Discord, like talk about it ambiguously without revealing it. It's like,
Yeah,
we
you
know
have to be on-
something you don't know.
Friend DA.
You got to be in on the secret. Hint at it.
Mhm.
Writing anagrams,
Oh, anagrams is good.
puzzles.
Write in acrostic poetry.
Well, that's
Maybe not that because that would spell it. But
That's-
Lovingly gazing out into the forest
That's-
under a
Ooh.
tree. I
I see.
well, you guys, this was lovely. We're at the time limit.
Country fields.
Yeah.
Me.
rising beyond.
Rising is with the W, you demon.
No, rising with an R.
Rising. I thought you said riving. I was like, sir.
it also becomes a really steamy poem, like right
Yeah,
towards
it's
the
like, way
end.
too sensual.
Yeah, Ladu Auntie's uncomfortable.
Yeah, what the hell? You're not supposed to be looking at each other.
Definitely boys in there.
Yeah.
So as we
Take your
sign
contacts
off,
out.
as we sign off, people are probably wondering like, when's the next episode gonna drop?
When
So,
is the next episode?
so the next episode is gonna drop in 2 weeks, but for you guys, it might be a little sooner than that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We'll just leave it at that.
Patrons get the scoop. That's a terrible song. Do better.
Yeah. For you lovelies, we'll get it out there a little bit earlier. But yeah, and then after that, November 28th, it goes a week at a time until we hit the holidays.
2 days.
But otherwise, if you want to see us live, come
Other
come on out to PAX. See us play together.
Yes, come to PAX, see us in person, come hang out with us. Come help us find out what game we're gonna play when Jasmine tells us. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Yay!
You guys did it. Thank you so much.
What if the game is like tic-tac-toe?
That's gonna be the best game of tic-tac-toe ever.
The most
We're
RP'd
gonna make it
tic-tac-toe.
last- We're
We're
gonna
gonna
make
play
it last an
Uno.
hour long.
We're gonna play Uno, and it's gonna get spicy.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
Did you?
Did
ever
you just
have-
reverse me?
Or in my case, a dad that loved. It's technically Phase 10, but my dad with his accent used to say Phase 10. Did you play this game instead of Uno?
Phase 10.
Phase 10. It's next to Uno. I'm sure people in our chat know this game. I taught that to the people in the village. These are people that didn't speak a word of English, and I'm brand new to the country. I just moved there. I'm like 9. I knew enough Punjabi to get them to understand this game, and it's how I introduced myself to that side of my family, like all my cousins.
Whoa.
We would just play Phase 10. Phase 10.
Phase 10.
I
Like-
searched
I've
it like
never heard
FaZe
of
Clan.
that.
Like
Pre-order
9 hours.
now.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be playing at Unplugged.
Oh
I'm
my
in.
God.
Let's
I
go.
will say, speaking of games, I did watch a home movie, and my dad is filming me as a baby, and he's going kabaddi, kabaddi, kabaddi.
Why
Oh,
is he
sick.
comforting you?
Somebody-
It's very funny.
Oh, can Kabaddi make
Kabaddi,
its
Kabaddi.
way into one of our games? That'd be amazing.
I would love
Have you
to.
Oh,
I love you guys so much. I'm
Yes.
so sorry. I have to
we
go.
gotta
because
go.
Yeah.
We're
Oh
gonna
my
say
God, we
bye.
all have to go.
We all have
Goodbye,
to go. We're
everyone.
all going.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Stay tuned
Thank
on all the
you.
socials. Follow everybody. They all have their @ symbols right